So, सबसे पहले तो, of course, congratulations on your little boy.
Thank you.
I know exactly how it feels. I think it's such an exciting phase, to be in. So, as a sportswoman, how different, is it to like be a mother?
I think the first thing, and I think all mothers will agree, the love is the most selfless love that you can ever feel towards your baby. And I think that was a love that I didn't think I was capable of having, to be very honest.
Absolutely.
So that was the biggest, I think difference for me, so to say.
Right.
But having said that, it was the most beautiful experience of my life. I mean, yes, it was, it took a lot to make that decision. Obviously, coming from someone where, the body changes and there's so much, you have to put your work on hold. There's so much that goes into it. So, but I'm glad that I did make that decision.
Of course, I think it's the most beautiful feeling I think
it is.
Any woman can experience. So obviously, after delivery and, being a sportswoman, I think how important and how pressurizing was it to get back into shape?
I think like everybody in the public eye, and I think that you know that as much as I do, that, there's so much that's said and done. There's so much body shaming, so to say, especially when you're pregnant and people talk about how much weight you've put on, which you're allowed to considering you're producing a human being, So, but I think that as an athlete, obviously people have always seen you being really fit, and then all of a sudden, I put on, of course, like a good 23 kilos.
I was 25,
so I didn't hold back or anything, and so for me as well, I had a few doubts whether my body will ever get back to sort of where it was, because you've never been in that position.
And you've
before.
always been like, super agile
and always
fit.
active and doing stuff. So that pressure was very, very high. But to be honest, it was more from myself than from anybody else, because I think that being healthy is so important to me. It's not necessarily being thin. It's more about being healthy and being fit. And I was just feeling unhealthy, after a certain point. So that's why I, tried to get back in shape as soon as I could.
And obviously after the baby, I'm sure people kept asking you that, Sania, when is that comeback match? I'm sure ये question तो हमेशा पूछा जाता है, that typical comeback
I had
question.
2 questions as soon as I got pregnant is, so are you going to come back? When are you going to come back? And is your baby going to play a sport? These were the questions that I was asked even before this child was, here. So for me, I've always like given, I never put I'll come back in 6 months or whatever, because I felt like it was unnecessary sort of pressure for no reason.
Yeah.